Hey guys, how's it going? Andrew here, Nuff Said Cards, and just wanted to make a quick recap video of the White Plains, New York show that I attended this past weekend. And drove up Friday from Virginia with my sons, Jack and Charlie, and we got to the show shortly after it opened and stayed till it closed at 7 o'clock, and got to hang out on Friday with Brian B. Roth 6, which was a lot of fun. We walked around the show together and looked at cards and then had dinner afterwards. Unfortunately, he had some other things he had to do Saturday and Sunday, but it was nice seeing him on Friday. Over the course of the weekend, also got to hang out a little bit with Joe Silver Jackify, which was nice catching up with him. And also got to see Bill Hoff Collector very briefly on Sunday. Unfortunately, he had to go shortly after we saw him, but it was nice catching up with him for a few minutes. So just have a few pickups that I want to show you. First, Charlie got a free autograph ticket for Jim Palmer. When the kids would walk into the show, they were handing out little packs of cards that they had put together, and randomly inserted within those packs were free autograph tickets. Charlie got a free autograph ticket for Jim Palmer. So we got to meet him, which was cool, and he inscribed this "To Charlie, Jim Palmer, Hall of Fame 1990. And have a few pickups from the dollar boxes. Spent a good amount of time actually going through the bargain bins and picked out a lot of stuff that ended up with my kids, but I got a few that I kept for myself. Got this Bowman's Best Ozzie Albies rookie from last year. Thought that was a nice looking card for $1. Kyle Tucker Bowman Chrome. This one's numbered 225 out of 250. Paid $1 for that one. Got this first Bowman Chrome of Victor Mesa Jr. Not to be confused with Victor Mesa, who's his brother. And finally got this Fernando Tatis Topps Chrome, The Family Business, and paid $1 for that one. Thought that was a nice looking card. So I was happy to grab those. For those of you that have watched my last couple of videos, you know I kind of got caught up in the hype with the Prism basketball and opened a bunch of that. And I got a couple singles at the show. Been watching Ja Morant and think that he's just going to be a really good player. He already is putting up some impressive numbers. So I picked up this image variation card of his. And I think this one is called Red Ice. Someone correct me if that is wrong. It very well may be. And then this one's the red, white, and blue Prism. So grab those. And then I have a few pre-war pickups to show you. I went to the show with the intention of not spending a lot of money. I did bring some stuff up, possibly to make some trades at the show, and which I haven't done in the past, but recently, you know, looked through my collection and realized that there are some things that really, not that I don't like the cards or didn't care about them, but just weren't, you know, things that I really felt compelled to hold on to, and thought that there were some things that I could get with those in trade that I would, you know, that would be more meaningful to me in my collection. So I made a couple of small trades the first day, and I picked up this Johnny Evers portrait. This is a SGC 4. And this one actually has a sovereign back. And I had looked at this actual card like 2 shows in a row. There's a dealer that I always see. He had this card. I actually tried to make a deal for this at the Philly show, and we just couldn't, you know, we were too far apart on the price, so that didn't work out. But I had another T206 that I brought up with me that I actually had doubles of and was able to trade that for this card. And I was happy with this one. I think the color is outstanding and the registration is really nice. It's a little bit off center, obviously, but thought that this card just looked so nice that centering didn't even really bother me that much. Got this Napoleon Lajoie T206 throwing pose. This one's a SGC3. Also really nice color on this one. And again, excellent registration, which is something that I really look for. Sorry about that glare there. So I was happy to get this one. The rounded corners just really don't bother me. So I was happy with that one. And I got this, this is a D304 Brunner's Bred Eddie Collins card, and this is a PSA 1. This is a pretty tough set. This is the first card I've ever owned from this set, and this was issued in 1911 with a couple different types of bread. And always thought that back looked kind of cool. And these are nice looking cards. This definitely is a PSA 1. It's got a lot of creases in it, but for the grade, I thought it was pretty nice. I don't really care that much about the grade. Just like the way this card looked. And so traded for that one. And then finally, I brought some cards up, some bigger cards from my collection that, if need be, I was willing to trade for one of a couple of bigger cards that I'm looking to add to my collection this year. And, you know, the only way that I was going to be able to make a deal for one of those cards, and I'll probably do a separate video and talk about my 2020 goals, but if I had found one of these cards, which I didn't, it would have had to have been partial trade. So I brought up some stuff and ended up trading some things. These final two cards I picked up on Sunday, and this is a Cy Young portrait. And for those of you that have followed my channel, this is the third Cy Young portrait that I've owned in the last like 2 years. I don't know what it is with this card, but I think finally this is the one. If I can get, there we go. So I bought a Cy Young portrait at the National 2 years ago. And then the next day I sold it because I wanted to get a Babe Ruth exhibit card, which I ended up doing. Pretty unusual for me to sell a card like that, but I really like that exhibit card. Then this past year, I got another Cy Young portrait, which was a SGC 3.5, and I liked that card. But when I saw this one, the color and contrast and registration on this card, I thought was really nice. The corners, obviously, I don't even have to discuss the corners. You can see the corners. But again, that really does not bother me. And like I said, I had a 3.5, and I was able to trade down. And quite honestly, I really like the look of this one better. I know it sounds crazy, but the number on the slab does not mean anything to me. And so I was able to trade, get that one, and then also leave out with this, which I'm just thrilled with. This is a T205 Ty Cobb. And I actually think this card is overgraded. I don't think it's a 3.5. But a nice card nonetheless. The registration and color, again, are good with this card. A little off center on the back, but pretty good on the front. And so I was able to make a deal for these two cards. I had to throw in a little cash, but at the end of the day, was really happy with that. And this time, I think that this is the Cy Young that is going to stay in my collection. So that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. I will catch up with you soon. Take care.